Nah. Hi, good evening. Thanks for joining us for ARC Salt Lake. I'm Jamie McGriff. It is Tuesday, February 24th, and tonight we are taking a look at reactions from family and community members after a parole hearing for a man who hit and killed a young boy while drunk. But first, rain is moving across the valley. Meteorologist Chase Thomason has our first alert forecast.
Yeah, pretty widespread rain right now for the Wasatch Front, especially north of Salt Lake City. And we have a little bit of snow up in the mountains, but those snow levels, folks, they are high right now, running at 9 to 9,500 feet. But at the top of Brighton, where we have some night skiing going on, you can see we still have some of those flakes falling from the sky. This will be adding to our snowpack. Even though those snow levels are high, it's that heavy, wet, dense snow. And it will really accumulate above 9,000 feet for tonight. So a little bit of snow if you're driving up towards Logan Summit on your way to Bear Lake, but the rest of the valleys, it's all rain. Widespread from Brigham City down to Ogden and into Davis County. Bit lighter for now in Salt Lake and Utah County, but that heavy rain to our north will be dropping south over the next few hours. So it's going to really pick up in intensity. Right now, we have those light showers in Salt Lake, 47 degrees. It's cloudy in Provo at 53 degrees. Those temperatures, they're going to stay mild. This is mild for late February. No snow in our forecast. We have rain for the rest of the night and into tomorrow morning. So these showers will likely impact your morning commute. So coming up, I'll have those storm totals and I'll let you know how long this storm will linger. It's all coming up my full forecast in about 15 minutes.
All right, Chase, thank you. The father and mother of 13-year-old Eli Mitchell, who was killed by a drunk driver, they're speaking out. It's coming after the parole hearing for the man responsible for their son's death, 50-year-old Mason Ohms. Eli was hit and killed by Ohms while riding his bike home from the grocery store, and this was in April of 2022. 2 News' Brian Will reports.
This is Eli's, fingerprint.
We all have these.
Jeremy and Lisa Mitchell walked into Tuesday's parole hearing for Mason Ohms with memories of their 13-year-old son, Eli Mitchell.
I've thought about this over the last 4 years, and I'm definitely not the person that wants this guy to rot in prison at all. But I cannot live with the idea that if he gets out and continues to struggle, that someone else would lose their child.
Eli's family and friends filled the hearing room at the Utah State Correctional Facility, where Ohms has served 3 years and 9 months of a 20-year sentence. Both parents spoke during the hearing.
Mason Ohms took that from me. He stole years, decades, a lifetime of watching Eli grow.
This is our life sentence. There is no parole from it. The circumstances of Eli's death makes this tragedy even more horrific. This was the offender's 6th DUI. 6. He didn't simply make a mistake. He made a series of dangerous, reckless choices over many years. And on the day he killed my son, he made even more.
Jeremy held up this picture showing the parole board his son's bike, which Ohms removed from under his truck before leaving the scene. Ohms pled guilty to Eli's death in 2022.
5 times he was given another chance. 5 times the system believed in him. Nothing changed until he murdered my son. Only then did accountability finally begin. Why did it take the loss of a child's life for Mason Ohms to act?
At the hearing, Ohms asked for forgiveness.
I know that no matter what I say or do will not bring back Eli, and I truly apologize for this. I know that my actions and decisions on the day of April 26, 2022 were not only inexcusable, outrageous, they were morally unacceptable.
Eli's parents are grateful for the apology, but said he needs to serve more time.
Hearing him put my son's name to what happened in that situation was helpful and somewhat healing for me.
The parole board does not make any decision today and can take up to 6 weeks to vote and decide on this. We'll of course keep you updated on the latest, including what the vote is. Reporting in Salt Lake County, Brian Will, KUTV 2 News.
Members of Eli's family were caught off guard when they were notified of the parole hearing last month. 2 News' Ariel Harrison spoke with Eli's grandfather about the pain the family continues to experience. Take a listen.
We anticipated that. We knew it would come eventually, but yeah, there's not any real words. It's like pulling the scab off an old wound. And it starts all over again. We figured the only thing our family can do is take the position that's important to us, and that is that a measure of justice needs to be served, and we believe parole should be denied. Obviously, his family and probably Mr. Ohms have different opinions, but we think it should be deferred. So he ran over Eli on a very busy road, made a right turn. The bike got stuck under his truck. He drove maybe 100 yards and flipped a U-turn, then drove back to the accident scene with the bike still under the truck, made another right turn in the opposite direction, pulled over a little bit down the road, tried ditching the bike behind a dumpster, and then frankly he drove to Saratoga Springs, arrived to his home about 2 hours later. So just all those impacts. He stopped multiple times. He could have stopped to render aid. He clearly had to have seen the accident. So it makes it really hard. That makes it even harder.
On Utah's Capitol Hill, lawmakers are pushing for harsher penalties for those that flee the scene of an accident that leads to severe injury or death of a victim. 2 News spoke with an advocate who says a bill like this is necessary to hold people accountable.
What holes are there in Utah's laws right now that are not helping this situation?
Well, I'll tell you one with that. This session is the hit and run bill, and where a person, as you notice, there's a lot in the news where people hit and kill or injure somebody and they run off. Well, the current law really incents them to do that, because if they're drunk, they leave the scene of the accident 2 or 3 or 4 days later, then they cannot be charged with an automobile homicide, and they have a much lesser charge.
So these bills that are making their way through the legislature, being debated by lawmakers, how important is it that these get passed?
Well, it's really passed. The hit and run just passed the House 66-0 with no nay votes. It has great support because people realize that what the message is: we want you to stop and render help to those you hit and injured.
What is your understanding of the bills that are in the works about this?
Well, my understanding is that they have full support, and this is really needed. And it's not just for automobile homicide, it's for property crashes too, where drunk people destroy property and off they go and they don't show up again. And so these are really important things to hold people accountable. So this is really a central bill that we get passed this session, because we want people to stop and render aid to those people.
You can watch our 2 News special with all of the developments on what happened to Eli Mitchell over on our YouTube page. You can scan that QR code that's on your screen and it'll take you right there. Turning to other news now, a shooting in Sandy is now being investigated as a possible hate crime. Police say that they have contacted the FBI and are considering all possible motives, including religion, after the leader of the Utah Islamic Center was shot at several times. 2 News' Liv Kelleher reports.
Imam Shuaib Din leads a congregation of nearly 1,000 people at the Utah Islamic Center, one of 13 mosques in the state.
I'm more concerned now for my congregation and their safety.
He says he first noticed a white 4-door sedan parked outside his home when he left on Monday night.
He came out of his car, he pointed a gun at me.
He called 911 and kept driving.
I was hoping he would pass me and I could get behind him, but he just stopped next to me and he came out of his car and then shot 8 times.
His mosque just a half-mile from his home. The shooting in the holy month of Ramadan. Do you believe this was targeted because of your religion?
I believe it was targeted. Could be because of my religion. Obviously, he was waiting outside my house in this very quiet, peaceful neighborhood for more than an hour and a half. He knew my schedule. He knew the make and model of my car. He seemed very determined. So yes, I'm afraid this could very well be a possible hate crime.
The Muslim community is potentially at a heightened risk of fear.
Police in Sandy are asking anyone with information or surveillance video to report it. The shooter is not in custody.
I think it was to hurt me, because it's not just once, it's twice, and then 8 shots, and all directed at me.
The Utah Islamic Center has increased security as well as canceled classes for their preschool and kindergarten today. Imam Shuaib tells me that he is offering a reward of $5,000 to anyone who provides information that leads to the arrest and conviction of the suspect in this case. Reporting in Sandy, Liv Kelleher, KUTV 2 News.
The Sandy mayor and city council released a statement following the shooting. It reads in part, quote, "We cannot ignore that this happened or occurred during the sacred month of Ramadan, a time of prayer, reflection, and peace for Muslims around the world. That makes this especially unsettling for our community. Sandy police are actively pursuing every lead, and we will allow the facts to guide the investigation." Coming up on ARC Salt Lake, what our weather has to do with higher prices for produce and meat. Today marks a grim anniversary. 4 years ago, Russia invaded Ukraine. Our elected leaders marked the solemn occasion at the state capitol.
Everyone thought that invasion would be over in 4 days, and here we are 4 years later, because people believe in liberty. It's brought humans together. It's helped them figure out ways to defend themselves against a much more powerful force.
Leaders from Ukraine's Kharkiv Regional Council delivered a flag to our state leaders. This flag represents Utah's continued support of the Ukrainian people. Farmers say that this year's dry winter means that we can expect higher prices for produce, meat at the grocery store. 2 News' Samantha Hoffman reports.
While many of us may be enjoying the 70-degree weather in southern Utah this week, farmers say this will strain crops, which will affect the prices you see grocery shopping.
Well, I bought chickens because I eat keto and I couldn't afford eggs.
Not able to afford high prices, Eve Batten says she now grows her own fruit trees and vegetables.
Grocery prices have gone crazy.
Family farmer and FAA advisor Lucas Stout says prices will continue to rise as the winter hasn't brought enough snow or rain for Utah farms.
We got a snowstorm a couple days ago and everyone's all happy about it, but not even a fraction of what we actually need.
He says farmers are dependent on melting snow and rain to fill the river and aquifers for hot summer months. Low water levels impacts both produce and meat.
You need water to grow plants, you need plants to feed cows, you need water to keep cows from being thirsty. If I have like corn or peaches or potatoes or whatever, if I have such a small amount, but because it's the rarity of it, it's going to drive prices up.
Stout feels that as St. George grows, water is being prioritized more for developmental and recreational growth than agricultural. What needs to be done to keep farms healthy and grocery prices down?
I think definitely is supporting the small-time farmer. Just making sure that we're using water properly and making sure that it does go to things that are more of a need versus a want.
Batten hopes farmers adapt as she feels everything is getting expensive and reliant on sources abroad.
Prices going up is a concern. It's a concern because everything's going up.
Stout added that farms also produce materials for clothing and building, so without proper water management, more prices could go up. In Hurricane, Samantha Hoffman, KUTV 2 News.
Grocery prices are still high, but the Trump administration insists the pace of inflation is slowing. New government data shows food at home prices are up a little less than 3% compared to a year ago. While some items leveled off, prices for meat, cereal, dairy, they're all up slightly. Bottom line, grocery prices are still putting pressure on Utah families. This weather is putting pressure on our meteorologists as well. We're trying to have some snow and we don't see any snow, at least not in the valley.
Yeah, not in the valley. It's going to be a very wet night. And even those mountain valleys like Park City and the Wasatch back, it's going to be rain for you. But we do have winter weather advisories for high elevation snow, mainly above 8,000 or 9,000 feet. That's where most of the snow will stay. This is a very mild storm. I mean, earlier today we hit 60 degrees in Salt Lake City, which is more than 10 degrees above average. And we're still well above freezing, even in those mountain valleys. Park City 39, 37 in Logan, Wasatch front 40s and 50s. It's been a very mild day down in central and southern Utah, and St. George, you're still in the 60s right now. You're closer to this ridge of high pressure, but it has moved to the south. It's allowing this tropical moisture to move into California, then eventually make that turn right into northern Utah. And we're seeing some pretty widespread rain, especially for areas north of Salt Lake City where we've had some moderate rain. A lot of standing water along I-15 through Davis, Weber, and Box Elder County. So be extra careful if you have to travel this evening. This heaviest widespread precipitation will slowly drop south. So later tonight, Salt Lake Valley, Utah County will really start to see that intensity ramp up, especially by about 10 o'clock. You can see that widespread rain for northern Utah. Notice central and southern Utah pretty quiet. Most of the rain will be Nephi north, but you may see a couple spotty showers tomorrow. For your commute, a little bit of rain is definitely possible. The best chance will be across the southern end of the Wasatch Front, and that mountain snow will likely continue to linger. Here we are by noon, and you'll see that portions of the south end of the Wasatch Front, Utah County into Juab County has that rain and mountain snow. We get shadowed out in eastern Utah, but still some spotty showers are possible in the afternoon. The heaviest, most widespread precipitation will be tonight and early tomorrow morning, and then we're drying out by tomorrow night. Additional rainfall, maybe another ½ inch on top of what we've already had, so it's a pretty good looking storm for us. We'll take the moisture, even though it is a warm storm. Of course, it will be snow in the mountains, primarily above 8,500 feet. We expect about 5 to 15 inches of that heavy, wet snow. That's adding to our snowpack, which is good news, but it's going to elevate avalanche danger in the backcountry. So it has been quite the week with numerous avalanches, and we'll likely see more. So be extra careful if you can't just stay out of the backcountry for a few more days. Overnight lows dropping into the 40s along the Wasatch Front, but we're back into the 50s tomorrow, above average. Dry out in eastern Utah, but we can't rule out a few sprinkles. Upper 50s from Vernal to Price, 60s in central Utah, and it's going to be full-on spring down in southern Utah. St. George at 75. And take a look at these temperatures. Mostly sunny to partly cloudy skies, upper 70s. Hey, we might even hit 80 degrees in St. George by Saturday and Sunday. Gets a little breezy, more clouds later in the weekend and into early next week. We're tracking our next storm. It does look like the rain will stay just north of St. George with that one. Salt Lake 56 for tomorrow, little breezy. We have some scattered showers, and then we have more sunshine and warming temperatures by Friday. 60, 63 on Saturday. That's very mild. And then we have at least another storm system moving in with some precipitation. It will be, though, rain in Salt Lake and for all of our valleys, but it will be snow up in the mountains as temperatures dip back into the mid-50s early next week.
All right, thank you so much, Chase. You can download our 2 News weather app and always be ready when weather happens in your neighborhood. All those updated forecasts and live radar can be found on your phone by downloading the free app. Coming up on Arc Salt Lake, how many visitors could Utah's national parks get this year? Utah's 5 national parks can expect around 11 million visitors this summer, and that's according to luxury vacation company Wander. They just released a list of travel estimates. The company expects Utah's parks to be the 3rd most popular for visitors. Tennessee, home to the Great Smoky Mountains National Park, will have more than 12 million visitors this summer. California and Yosemite are next, also with 12 million expected visitors. The Airport Service Quality Customer Experience Awards honoring the Salt Lake International Airport. It evaluated more than 400 airports from 110 countries, and the organization says that Salt Lake is the best in North America at departures. It also considered the cleanest and most enjoyable airport in North America. Yeah, it is a beautiful airport. Rankings are based on passenger satisfaction interviews with travelers while they're at the airport. Yeah, and if you're going on a vacation, I guess that would be a good time to interview someone. They're in good spirits. It's still a fabulous airport. Have a good